After just winning Shine 2019 with Peach, it is clear Samsora's movement and bait and punish game is phenomenal. However, the term bait and punish gets thrown around a lot in Smash Bros, so in this video we'll be looking at how Samsora uses his movement to bait and punish opponents and how he was able to use this technique to win Shine 2019.
Another stuff that Leo needs to come back from. And he gets the nair, and you have your Shine 2019 champion, Samsora!
Bait and punish simply refers to when you bait your opponent into choosing an option and you punish them for it. A classic real-life example of this is the high five scuba dive.
High five, scuba dive.
Where you bait your friend into thinking you want to high five, but really you scuba dive and dodge it. The first step in having a strong bait and punish game is how you move around in neutral. Samsora plays neutral at about roll distance and patiently runs in and out. Samsora runs close enough to his opponents to make his opponent feel like they have to choose an option and that if they commit to an attack they could hit Samsora. However, he also moves far enough away to be outside of the range of any burst options his opponent decides to throw out. There are three main ways you can use your movement to bait and punish your opponent in neutral, so we'll be breaking down how Samsora uses all three of these options. They are the standard bait and punish, the jumping bait and punish, and the reverse bait and punish. The standard bait and punish is simple. As your opponent approaches to attack, simply continue to move backwards to outspace your opponent and then punish them. For the standard bait and punish to be effective, it is essential you follow step 1 and have good movement at about roll distance. This will bait your opponent into thinking they will be able to hit you. If you have poor movement in neutral, you're essentially trying to hook a fish without using any bait, and it will not be as effective as if you had used good bait, which in this case is your movement. The jumping bait and punish is when you use a lot of grounded movement to bait your opponent into using a grounded attack option, but you simply jump to avoid their attack and punish them with an aerial from above. This bait and punish technique is most effective when either you're against an opponent that you know wants to land dash attacks and grabs, or simply if your character gets more damage off their landing aerials than they would off a standard bait and punish. This is why it's very common to see characters like Peach, Fox and Zero Suit Samus use this technique. Here against Leon, Samsora simply uses float to be above Bowser's dash grab approach, and he is able to land a nice combo off this one down air.
Changes in blast zones making his job any easier or more.
Jumping of course puts you above your opponent. So against characters with strong aerials and juggling tools, it will be more risky to use jumps to bait and punish your opponent than it would be to use the standard bait and punish. However, if you're against an opponent with a strong ground game, like Snake or Bowser, using jumps in neutral will be more effective. So it's important to know what your opponent's character wants to hit you with when baiting and punishing. Finally, the reverse bait and punish. I learned this technique from watching Allies matches in Smash 4 and was initially going to make this video an In the Mind of Ally video. However, I thought it might be better to not go into the mind of Ally because controversy aside, in Smash 4 I decided to pick up Mario and so I watched plenty of Ally VODs. I noticed he was able to land a lot of so-called random grabs and smash attacks, but I knew these couldn't be random, otherwise it wouldn't be working so consistently against top level opponents. I realised the key to Ally landing these attacks was due to his use of the slide back animation. As explained in the aggression video, opponents will catch people overly retreating by overshooting. So to hit Ally's sliding animation, the opponent would have to overshoot. However, as an opponent overshoots, they leave themselves exposed. As an opponent is overshooting, they are simply running towards you. They can be hit by literally any move. Ally uses his slide back animation to bait opponents into wanting to overshoot, then simply throws out a grab or a smash attack that they will run into. Against MK Leo's Joker, it is common for players to try and completely camp out Arsene. However, MK Leo is an expert at overshooting, and as we see here, Gluttony is eventually chased down and hit. Samsora, however, uses the reverse bait and punish technique as he knows MK Leo's Joker will want to approach with Arsene. Here he appears to be playing very defensively, However, he mixes it up and attacks as MK Leo attempts to overshoot an approach, hitting MK Leo right out of his dash. Here is Samsora explaining this technique himself.
But the most important part about where you're landing and going to the other side of the stage is that you know Joker is going to dash towards you. So maybe you can counteract this dash. So, because a lot of times MK Leo dashed towards me, and I was like, wow, he's going to dash towards me. I could just hit him out of his dash.
The reverse bait and punish is a vital option in Ultimate, as many moves have little to no lag, and it can be impossible to outspace and punish them. However, simply hitting the opponent first can be an excellent mix-up into your bait and punish game.
The idea that Bowser is big, he will be comboed, and that's what Peach succeeds at.
Just waiting out the flame breath too, fire breath rather. Oh, Samsora.
Where there are a lot of times you can see Ally just drift all the way towards center stage with an air dodge. Oh, you are serious.
I totally forgot about the up smash. I mean, he hasn't been thrown out nearly as much because he get punished so much for it earlier in this set, but this time he actually throw it out and register, not the stock yet. But he got a lot of damage off it. Let's see if he goes for it again. The grabs are coming.
And he made it. Now let's see what can MK Leo do.
Nairo being a little more aware. Both players dancing underneath this bottom platform. The up B once again will not kill. This is deja vu from the first stock.
Incredible, yeah, the first time, but the second time it was a little bit too much.